Well, hello everybody on Facebook, on TheOneRing.net/live, on Ustream.
Hello everybody.
We've got so many chatters. Going on.
Indeed, we do have
our regulars: Sarah, Hannah Took,
Kaiten Suji. Hey, everybody's here on the live
a
show.
lot of people on
Nice.
Facebook. Hello, Raziel, Damon, Jonathan,
Matt Harker.
Damon, already have all these sin editions. You know, today we're going to totally talk about this new announced Blu-ray.
Are we ever
Lord of the Rings
gonna talk about this?
And we've got so much to go through.
I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome to the show
I've
live.
got so many copies of the Lord of the Rings already. And,
whoa, look at this.
Yeah.
Do you remember these?
There's
I
even
do.
more. I've got so.
This is fantastic.
this.
I
We've
remember
got-
this was the.
I already own this. All right, we got to.
Yeah, we already know this. This is the original DVD version of the extended editions.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'll never forget how much we loved the packaging, the unifying colors that they did on these. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so anyways, speaking of packaging,
This is Cliff, and he's the total package.
and this is Justin. He's also quite the package. He's our producer and my co-host, and I'm Clifford Broadway, a 17-year veteran of TheOneRing.net.
Producer, writer of Ringers, Lord of the Fans. You won a bunch of awards for your documentary. Didn't
Ringers, Lord of the Fans. Yes, that was my movie. I wrote that with the able assistance of Carlene Cordova, our wonderful director, and a big team of volunteers and people from TheOneRing.net and a wide fan community around the world who helped us put that project together. Look for it on Amazon Prime later this fall.
And you've written a couple books, The People's Guide to J.R.R. Tolkien, I believe.
With the able assistance of a lot of writers contributing on TheOneRing.net, we put together a nice omnibus of some of our best articles and new essays in those collected editions.
And didn't we publish a book just a year or two ago with Happy Hobbits and Kelly Rice?
Yes.
And a bunch of people.
That would be J.W. Braun.
J.W. Braun.
Our good buddy and
Yeah.
our friend. He put out this wonderful book as well, combining a look at TheOneRing.net and the phenomenon and the fandom. So,
And of course, you were the voice of Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings video game on Xbox.
I forgot all about that, but yeah, I really
Basically,
had
what we're saying
for a
is
moment.
Cliff here has had his pulse on. It has had his hand on the pulse.
I've had my
of
pulse on the
fandom.
finger. I've had my pulse on the finger.
Of fandom, and
Yeah.
in the Ringers, you talked about the
Yeah.
different stages of fandom, and basically, what we want to do today is talk about the newly announced Blu-ray right here of the Lord of the Rings package and Hobbit package, and the perspective from fandoms, from collectors. Look, because not only
My
are
perspective
there
has already been well known.
well, there's a lot of kids that have grown up with the Lord of the Rings films,
Yeah.
you know, and the Hobbit films. A lot of Hobbit film fans weren't even of age when Lord of the Rings was in theaters.
If you were born when The Lord of the Rings was in theaters, you'd be 16, 17 years old
Yeah.
now, maybe 16. And so now, yeah, you're right. These kids have grown up, and it's a legacy, like the books, that gets handed down from parents to the next generation of their children. It's always that way. So we're concerned, and we're here to voice our concerns, and we're going to talk quite openly with everyone on the live chat. We will include your comments, your concerns. We have a
do
hotline.
you accept left leg or right leg?
Left leg or right leg? What?
That's the question from the chat room. Do
What?
you accept left leg or right leg?
Oh, if it's going to cost me an arm and a leg, yeah, I don't know what they're going to accept.
That's right.
Hopefully, for a second, I thought you were asking something else entirely. But okay.
But it's not just about the young people and broke college kids being able to afford this. We're fortunate because Lord of the Rings fandom crosses all strata of
Indeed.
society,
Indeed.
and there are many people that have kept companies like Sideshow Collectibles, Weta Workshop, and there's a lot of fans that have the abilities to afford a lot of high-end collectibles. They've bought every version of the movie in every type of format that it's had, but we're still getting feedback, you know, from some of these people, including our collectibles editor Josh, who hardly ever, I don't think he's ever received a free item. He's always bought his collectibles that he reviews on TheOneRing.net.
Yep, that's true.
Elisar, right? No,
That'd be Elisar. He signs on as the nickname Elisar. I write under the nickname Quickbeam. If you go back in time, the internet was a place where people used pseudonyms or their nicks, their nicknames for their IRC chat. Oh God, I'm dating myself. The IRC chat that we used, Barlaman's chat room, which is still there. It's fantastic. But I'm known as Quickbeam and always have been. Now you sir, may be the newest foundling within the Torn staff. Well, newer than most. But tell me, you sir are also an avid consumer of pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, and these relative entertainment products.
I come from the making of field, because I've helped design and print a lot of the T-shirts, the TheOneRing T-shirts that have kept the site alive for 15 years.
Yes, you have.
And then in my day job, I've also been a producer on DVDs, and I've helped develop all the bonus features of several films, including, Gone in 60 Seconds, Step into Liquid, the surfing movie, to even Terminator 2 Extreme Edition, where we repackaged it in a metal case with a bunch of... So I'm coming in with the perspective of, like, what is the actual effort that needs to make a great DVD, all the bonus features, and how incremental the cost is overall to what you're going to sell.
Yep.
So I know
part
how
of the conversation.
I know how the sauce is made.
Yes.
And you know how the sauce is consumed.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll take that. So
let's
this
start.
Is a chef. This is a dwarvish chef hat. He's quite the cook.
A fan sent this to me, and this is wonderful. we broadcast from inside Meltdown Comics in Hollywood, the center of all things geekdom. If you ever want to send fan art or little toys or custom knitted hats, please send it to Meltdown Comics in Hollywood, California, Sunset Boulevard. It'll get to us.
It's very funny. Yes, it will get to us. You guys are very kind and really super, super supportive. So thank you for being part of our audience. And a big shout out to Bill Hunt, editor of the Digital Bits, who is on the show, watching live. I know he's watching because I've been getting these wonderful messages from people around the world. I'm really glad that you are here. We have an opinion piece that I wrote that has actually gotten to a level of attention.
All the blogs are talking about it.
Perhaps it's because people are actually pissed off about it. Perhaps
it's because there's just a perspective.
When your music teacher reminds you to sing it once more with feeling, right? Back in school. Yeah. Well, we have feelings. We're fans. We're not cold, robotic automatons just chunking out our money for any little thing that, the studio wants to feed us. We actually have opinions, believe it or not, about the way that these stories and the way that this franchise is being handled. And today, I think...
Bill Hunt's in the chat room. Good to see you, Bill.
Hello there. Good to see you, Bill. It's a pleasure.
Talking about you.
Yeah,
Ellen,
yes, sir.
Hello, Ellen. Sean in Facebook says, how about selling this without the movies themselves, since we already own it? We're about to get into that.
All right. Well, let's start with the basics.
Well, you've got... First off, little rules. Text us. Give us a call.
Okay.
The number is scrolling, 530-64-FRODO.
It comes in pints.
That's really our phone number. If we don't answer, it means we're collecting our thoughts. We're finishing a sentence.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
So text
or
us
bickering.
first.
Or bickering about it.
Text us your thoughts, and then if we like it, we'll ask you to call. But that's really our number.
Look at that.
530.
Spirited Book is here. Ellen is here. And yes, forgive me for interrupting. It is 530, number 6, number 4, FRODO.
There we go.
That is our hotline.
We got our first phone call. Let's
take a call. Let's take our live caller on the live show.
Hi, who's calling?
It's me. It's Josh.
Hey, Josh. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Very
Hello
good.
there, Josh. How are you, buddy?
So, as our collectibles editor, you review a lot of expensive toys. What's the most expensive thing you have in your collection?
I bought a couple of statues, on the secondhand market that I paid quite a bit for. As far as just retail, the Azog statue was quite a bit. It was, $600-700. Ministerius was $600. I've bought the original Balrog a couple of times, secondhand, and paid over $1,000 for it each time.
So basically, what we're trying to say is, on the staff, not only do we have broke college kids like Cliff, we have collectible editors like yourself that spend the money. So what are your thoughts on this price point for $800 for a Blu-ray set?
Well, it's a price that I think is kind of crazy, to be honest. I mean, we've obviously chatted a little bit about it behind the scenes, and as a high-end collector, I don't know how you justify buying something like this, to be honest with you.
Is
That's
there?
saying something for me, and I'm buy crazy price stuff all the time.
Yeah. So did you even, when they first announced it and had that price point, without knowing any of the features, whether it included new stuff or old stuff, was that did the thought ever occur that, oh right, if it has the right things, I might buy it?
When I first saw the picture, because Daniel Falconer shared a picture of it, I think on Facebook, was the first person I saw share it, and I thought the picture was neat with what was going to possibly be in it, just as far as what you saw. I saw the price initially and thought, well, that's Amazon just listing a crazy price and they'll adjust it from there type thing. And when it became quite clear that, one, there was no new material, and the price was legit, I couldn't wrap my mind around how you can charge, $800 retail for no new material. And don't get me wrong, the stuff that they're adding is neat, but it's not $800 neat. I mean, like I said, we've talked about it behind the scenes. I have a custom-made red book. It's leather covered. I mean, it looks like something. It's made to feel like it's stepped right out of Middle Earth. I paid a little over $500 for it, so I don't quite know how that little red book is supposed to make me spend that money. It looks like the little maps and stuff that come inside the red book, you can go and buy bigger, better versions from Weta for a fraction of the cost. The little art prints that they give, I've never seen those before, but that's the only item that I can see. So why am I spending $800 on something for 2 items? I told you guys, I bought the Lurtz and Boromir statue set that Weta had at Comic-Con. I got 2 statues for $600. I mean, those are made by the guys who worked on the movie. So again, why am I paying $800 for stuff I have here at the house? I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
Okay, yes.
That pretty much sums up a lot of fans. That is the quote of the hour. It would be interesting to maybe we should post something later this week on the OneRing of pricing out. All right, let's price out every piece of this. How much is a collector's mat from Weta, and see if it matches up. Like if we bought these pieces one by one, including the Red Book of Westmarch from a wonderful calligraphist. That would be wonderful. Let's find out if that would adds up to the right price.
Daniel Reeve, our calligraphist from Lord of the Rings.
I do plan on kind of, maybe at the end of this week, kind of writing more detailed thoughts from a collectitor's point of view, just for something like that, because I just can't, like I said, I can't wrap my mind around charging that kind of a price for something that there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing. What newer you get? A wooden shelf and some stuff I can get better, bigger quality from either custom-made stuff for people, from Weta themselves. I don't know why someone greenlit this idea. It's in the high-end scale, it's pretty crazy. I don't quite think that somebody thought this out very well.
Yeah, well, I have some perspective on that, so we're going to get to that in the show. I appreciate you calling, Josh. And,
we do appreciate
we look forward to more posts about this, and we've got a lot to talk about. Thanks for calling.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Guys, take it easy.
Thanks.
Great, buddy. Okay, so
what a great first call.
This is a
keep
great
the
first
text
call.
coming. We're getting a bunch of texts.
we are, but you know what we're going to need to do? I need to do my John Oliver bit. Okay?
Not yet.
I need to do my John Oliver bit.
No, not yet. Give me a
Wait,
moment.
but this has the information and the context that will let us get through the rest of the show.
Look, we have
so
to,
why don't we begin at the beginning?
Let's show what we're talking about first. Though.
Exactly.
No. Well, look here. First off,
Let's actually talk to the people.
If you look, we have 3. Actually, what was announced is there are 3 collections being released.
That's right. Now, the reason why we're going to start with the basics is because some people in our chat room, I've been watching it very carefully, are just at this very moment discovering the news about what this Ultimate Collector's Edition really is and what the plan was for the release. And the person's, that would be Spirited Book, his response is complete shock. And he said, "What?" in all caps. So, yes, and go ahead. Let's just talk to the folks who may be hearing this for the first time.
Oscar just posted on Facebook, $800 is not acceptable for a remastered Lord of the Rings trilogy. We're about to get into that. So
remastered? It's not even remastered.
I know. Let's talk about that. First off, there's a low-end theatrical versions DVD. So it's not the Blu-ray, it's just regular DVD. There's a lot of people around the world that still just have DVD players. They don't have Blu-ray.
That's true. Okay, so that's one set.
There's the theatrical version's Blu-ray, which is $68.99 suggested retail price. So it'll probably be on sale first couple weeks for like $60 or $50, right?
Okay.
So $68.99, and then
that's a Blu-ray package you're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's a theatrical version DVD
for $36,
a theatrical version Blu-ray
for $68,
right? And then if you want the extended edition,
collector's edition, $800.
What?
So we go from $36.
Did you say $800?
We go from $36 to $69 to $800.
I'm sorry.
What just happened? What just happened?
What just happened?
So we confirmed this with the studio. The pricing is right. All the blogs, the digital bits, everybody were asking, like, is this an official price? And so we got confirmation. This is actually the price. The only version that is available at a competitive price is the theatrical editions of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, which we all know the Hobbit theatrical versions are not the ones you want to watch.
Not at all. Not at all.
Only
the extended.
The Lord of the Rings is manageable in the theatrical version, but The Hobbit is not the version you want to watch. So they're only releasing a 6-film at competitive prices under $100 in Blu-ray. Only the theatrical version. This is just the theatrical version of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, 6-disc movie set. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get the extended edition as a 1-box set,
assuming that you're a person who's never bought this product before.
Right. Well, we'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
So included, here we go. Included for this $800 is not only versions of the film that you can't get at a lower price at all.
Right.
It comes with a leather booklet full of illustrations by Alan Lee and John Howe.
Not originals, but reproductions.
Okay.
And it's made to look like the Red Book of Westmarch. It is designed to look like the book that Frodo and Bilbo are writing in.
The way the Hobbit
in the 6 films.
begins and the Lord of the Rings ends, remember Sam closes the Red Book?
Yep.
That's called the Red Book of Westmarch. It's basically, remember Bilbo writing, and a Hobbit's tale. The Lord of the Rings.
It is the bookend.
It is the bookend.
It's the conceit of the entire 6-film trilogy.
Written
that Red
by
Book.
Bilbo, Frodo, and Sam.
Yes.
So that has a name. It's called the Red Book of Westmarch. Is that in the books themselves? Is that the title, the name of that book?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it earned the title. When you're in the Lord of the Rings, the book version, the original, the Red Book of Westmarch ended up being the title that it earned years later, after the War of the Ring was over.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what it's called. And so there's a reproduction of the Red Book that fits in the handmade wooden shelf that is designed with a little hobbit hole kitchen window design on the side or something like that.
Yep.
But the leather-bound 6-volume packaging,
they look like books.
They fold out using the same publicity images and key art that was used 16 or 17 years ago.
In all the posters.
And all the wall calendars, all the desk calendars, all the keychains, all the refrigerator magnets. You've seen these images.
There's a comment on Facebook. Geneva says, Peter has nothing to do with this fiasco. We actually, Cliff, as he was walking over here, got the email, an official word from Peter Jackson's team.
Yes, I've got an official response from Peter Jackson through his very capable and excellent team of people. We reached out to each other, and Peter has given us an official response that is our exclusive on this broadcast. You're not going to hear news of this anywhere else on any other media outlet. We have the exclusive here. So stay tuned. It's part of the show.
Let's talk about what we're getting.
Let's talk about what we're getting.
So basically, you get everything
How about what we're not
already
getting?
released. You get all the movies and all the appendices for all 6 films.
Yes.
So that's 30 discs.
Yes.
30 discs, plus the art book, plus 2 poster prints, plus 2 maps. 2 aged-looking maps of Middle-earth, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Do you even get the soundtrack with it?
Nope, you don't. And you do not get the 3D versions of the films either.
It's not. You don't get the 3D versions of the film, which are the most highest priced versions of the Hobbit trilogy.
The 3D Blu-ray not included.
And
the Costa Botes documentaries from that special reissue not included.
And the thing that hardcore fans have been craving is the full complete soundtracks, official soundtracks, which never been released.
Referred to as the OST.
The OST,
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. There is so much music that is in the films that did not make it onto the soundtracks. There are musical cues and full orchestrated pieces that we don't have access to on any CD.
That's true.
So
even if you have the deluxe edition of the soundtracks, you only have a few extra pieces, not all of it.
Yeah. So that's all you get. You get existing movies, you get existing documentaries, and you get a couple new. You get this fake Red Book of Westmarch. So that's what's new in Hobbitland. Now let's talk about previous versions of this movie. So this is just my collection. These aren't yours. These are mine, right?
That's right. These are all yours.
How many times have I bought this film? And I would assume that I am equivalent of everybody, most fans that have bought and rebought and purchased this and everything like that. So first off, when it first came out, my parents didn't know any better. I had a square TV. I bought the full screen Lord of the Rings.
Oh, jeez! Back in the days,
I have the trilogy, the full screen trilogy of.
It actually does say full screen across the top.
At the top.
Yes, full screen.
Right? Yeah, we're getting calls. We're going to take that in a second.
We're going to take the calls in a minute. But,
all right, so let's count them. I wish we had a counter on the screen.
Who would ever watch a pan and scan version of the Lord of the Rings?
I've got them. I own them.
Oh my gosh!
So I finally got a widescreen TV at one point. And I'm like, all right, time to upgrade. I got my widescreen. All right, so I got the trilogy a second time on widescreen. All right, so I've owned this trilogy twice already.
From just theatrical.
Just theatrical.
Right?
This is the theatrical. And then they started releasing the extended editions.
Oh, yeah.
On DVD.
Everyone's
not
favorite.
Blu-ray. So I've got 1, 2. This is my third version of buying this film. These are all the extended editions that come out. Look,
these were the extended DVDs.
Wonderful fold-outs. Look at that. You get
the triumph of Michael Pellerin and his team.
Look at that. This beautiful.
Working.
The artwork on these is just gorgeous.
Remember all this, guys?
Just
yes.
Gorgeous,
So you bought it again.
So, man, I've still got all the inserts.
You do have all the inserts. You probably still have the receipts.
I still have the convertible.
Nice. That's the outside sleeve.
The outside sleeves for this.
How about that?
So this is so I bought all the extended editions, right? So I'm 3 packages in. Now if memory serves me right.
3 packages in.
So if memory serves me right, I had to buy all of the extended editions on their own separately. They did not have this box. And so what happened is we had to take the UPC symbols from the outside packaging from these, mail them in, and we got this free box, right? To hold the thing. So basically what we're saying is Warner Brothers rewarded fans for purchasing probably
you mean back in the days when we weren't being punished, when we were being rewarded as fans? Yes, that's right.
I bought the full screen, I bought the widescreen, I bought the extended edition, and then Warner Brothers said, hey,
here's your reward.
Here's your reward. Let's create a wonderful package. So they offered this box for free, and I think a lot of people
offered it for free.
This.
Yes.
So this was wonderful, and it looks great. It looks like some books, right?
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a book.
Looks like books. Looks like a bookshelf.
It goes up. It's got the nice thickness. It's wonderful. So
indeed,
all right, I'm 3 full DVD sets in.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's just Lord of the Rings. Now let's talk about. After I bought this, then they released the Costa Botes documentary version. They released another version of Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Yes.
Which
you might not have one of those
right here. I think it's included in this. No, it's not included in this one. It was a regular DVD.
Nope.
But so let's just count this. This is a placeholder.
I borrowed that set from Nicole.
Right.
My friend.
So they released another version. This will be the 4th version of Lord of the Rings that included a Costa Botes documentary hired personally by Peter Jackson.
Which were shot and created in a very different style than the way that Michael Pellerin was doing his behind the scenes. It wasn't done through the studio, yes.
Yeah, and he's a documentary filmmaker, very independent. So there was a whole feature set. I bought the whole trilogy again just to get a 1-hour documentary per movie.
Actually, they were almost 2 hours each.
2 hours each. Okay.
They were almost 2 hours
so
each.
6 hours of extra content
But
across the
it
three
was
movies.
an uncanny look at the production. It was a warts and all documentary thing. No lower
slick
third,
editing.
no slick editing, no lower thirds, no narrator. It was done in a very straightforward
Verite.
look. Look at the weirdness we're dealing with while we make a movie on the other side of the world and put it all together.
All right, so I'm four versions in.
You're 4 versions in.
Four versions in.
Here he goes.
All right, here we go.
Then what?
Then The Hobbit came out.
Oh, by the way, a big shout out to the director, producer, and co-writer of Ringer's Lord of the Fans. There she is, Carlene Cordova, as Asphaleth in our live
Beautiful.
chat right
Everybody's
there.
here.
Good. Everyone's here on the live chat, and we have a very special guest behind the scenes who will join us in just a moment. Or 5.
So I'm 4. I've bought Lord of the Rings 4 times, all 3 movies 4 times already. So
Yes.
The Hobbit comes out. I need it opening day. First day it comes out, 2-disc special edition. This is just the theatrical, not the extended edition. So
Yes.
I got the 2-disc special edition, Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit, and Unexpected Journey
on DVD.
And I ended up getting it for all of them. So all right, so there are we counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
5,
right? And then they announced, the 3D extended edition
with these cool lenticular covers.
A 3D extended edition of Lord of the Rings. It's got a nice texture on it.
Yeah.
So I of course I needed the
3D.
The 3D, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because what's cooler than high definition of 3D in your own home? Actually, I've been pretty impressed with the home theater 3D
I
technology.
take that back.
Even though it's probably a format that's on its way out, but I really enjoyed it.
This is not the extended edition.
No, it's theatrical.
It's theatrical. So
Yep,
I've got the DVD theatrical. Then I bought the 3D Blu-ray theatrical.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and
6.
then boom. Where is it at? An Unexpected Journey extended edition with the not leather slipcase. It's a wonderful slipcase. I haven't even opened these yet. I have so many versions of this movie. I haven't even opened all of them.
Is it 6?
So this is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
So
and then
7.
Okay.
And this is just the Battle of the 5 Armies here.
But you wanted to get the Battle of the 5 Armies theatrical Blu-ray, so you bought that too.
Yeah, well, that's just like this. So basically, I have 7 full versions of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Bill Hunt just sent you a message and says, "Tell Justin he's my kind of DVD nerd." LOL. You go, sir.
Dude,
so, thank you, Bill Hunt.
I own these. I should want this. I should want this new package, but there's many reasons why it's not interesting. We've already talked about a few. But wow, I bought the whole extra Lord of the Rings because of the Costa Botes documentary. Just give me a little extra, and I'll go pay all the way.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
That's what consumers do. Now,
listen, our phone is
blowing up.
Let's just take one of these. Hi, who's calling?
Hello. Hello? The cone of silence. Yep. The cone of silence has been completely activated. Sorry about that. Well, there was a caller there. But...
So there we 7 versions. I have 7 freaking versions of this.
Can you do a quick calculation in your head, good sir?
No. Don't ask me to count money.
All right.
So that's where I'm at now. Let's talk about.
Let's talk about. Can I do my John Oliver bit now?
Let's take this call, and then we'll go into your rant.
I want to do my rant.
Hi, who's calling?
Hello?
Hi, who's calling?
Hey there. This is Vincent. I'm a big TheOneRing fan. Love TheOneRing.net.
Oh, great.
Dude. Hey, thanks for calling.
Thanks. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
So my name is Vincent, and I'm over in Arizona.
Welcome. Awesome. Where time does not change, where they absolutely refuse to spring forward and fall back. I love it. I love Arizonans. Love it.
So tell us, how many versions of Middle-earth movies have you purchased over the years?
So I bought 2 towers regular first, and then no going back. I'm going to extended edition on these. So I have the DVD box set, extended edition, all 3 of those. I have the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended on Blu-ray, and then recently very happy with the purchase of the Hobbit trilogy Blu-ray extended.
Yeah, hello. The extended versions of The Hobbit is the only way to go, especially finding out about Thorin's father and dwarven rings and all that extra stuff, and Bilbo looking at that broken sword in Rivendell, all that stuff.
So much better.
So much better, yeah.
So what makes you call us today? What are your thoughts on this new box set?
So I'm definitely disappointed. I love the box. It looks fantastic. Of course, the price is outrageous. They'll have to wait until it's a bit more down, or, who knows, maybe they'll make a different edition. I have everything with it already, I suppose. I was curious if you know anything about the contents of the Red Book of the Westmarch that's supposed to include with it, because that seems to be the most appealing thing to me. Is that part of it?
Yeah, we've got something from the press release. I think, we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll let Cliff go on a rant. So I'm going to hang up on you, but stay tuned, and we'll talk about that on the air right now.
Well, let's see here. What does the press release have to say about that?
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man, thank you very much for being on the show. I do appreciate you calling in. That's great. Okay, so the press release says, literally... and they did send some images. The images did not reproduce in my Gmail.
Right.
I don't know why. But it says, It says a 100-page, at least we know how many pages it has.
100 pages. 100 pages. That's significant.
A 100-page sketch-style book, replica of the Red Book of Westmarch. And what's in it is not described. The real contents and the sketches and the calligraphy, whatever's in that book, not described in the press release. But it's 100 pages long, and also separate from that, there are 2 prints, 2 original watercolor paintings from Oscar winners Alan Lee and John Howe, but they're reproductions. They're just prints. So, and I'm sure they're suitable for framing.
It's a 100-page sketchbook. You're not getting a copy of Lord of the Rings.
No.
No, not in the calligraphic style. Ugh.
Wouldn't that be cool to have an extra edition of the book itself as part of that box
that's
set?
What Josh Ellisar was saying that he got online. So
okay.
So let's talk. What's on your mind, because I want to talk about precursors to this set.
You do? Very good. Yeah, so do I. I'm glad you do. But may I?
Yeah.
Okay. Audience applauds. Yay! The camera crane comes moving in.
I'm going to answer your text messages.
And I bang on the desk going, welcome, 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 everyone, to Last Week Tonight with Clifford Broadway and Justin Sewell. Welcome, everyone. Now, let's get right to the beginning. The greasy oil, orange Cheeto, clown shitstorm trash fire that is the Trump campaign. No, we're not going to do that. Sorry. No. That's what Mr. Oliver does on his show. But on my show, instead, I'm just going to share my thoughts with you in a style of, just delivering it right to you. My thoughts that were published in this op-ed piece that we did on TheOneRing.net. And I decided to call it Outraged or Bemused. And bemused is another fancy 50-cent word for saying confused. What? Completely can't make sense of it. So, greetings. Quick beam here. What is all this business with a 30-disc Blu-ray Ultimate Edition of LOTR and Hobbit trilogies?
I thought you were gonna.
Why the heck is it priced at $800 when it contains nothing new from previous releases? If you're curious to investigate the many details behind the sticker shock and the wave of fan outrage, bemusement that surrounds this story, then join me as we dig deeper and learn some interesting truths, okay? So, yeah, I might go on and on and on, but here it is, all right? The Middle-earth saga was over. As soon as the last Hobbit film was out, we at TheOneRing.net thought that things were going to get rather quiet around here, and we thought, oh gosh, that's it. Well, we may see other materials from the game developers, we will see other materials somewhere from other people, but nobody else from New Zealand will be making films like this, and it felt like the end of an era. But we still wanted more, and many times over the past 16-plus years, we have heard from Peter Jackson himself, the writer, producer, director, that there was more. More fully executed scenes that didn't make the extended cuts, more outtakes, more narrative threads, tying the 6 films together, thousands of bloopers. This stuff has the quality of legend. since we've been waiting on it for so long. And always it was spoken of by the filmmakers with the feeling of, hold on to hope, dear fans, because someday, I'm sure the studio will be interested in releasing this as a fuller, bigger, maxed out Ultra Edition. You called it, someone else on our message boards called it the Unicorn Edition. It might have been Larry. So privately, we started calling it the Unicorn Edition. Now, on the Return of the King Extended Edition commentary, the director's commentary track, especially noteworthy how many times Fran and Philippa and Peter joke and laugh about the 25th anniversary edition. And there's a few laughs in there between Fran and Philippa, with Peter asking the two ladies to remind him, remind me in 25 years about that missing library scene. And they joke about, oh, what about the library scene in Rivendell? Where's this extra library that we built for Rivendell? Where's the scene that Fran directed some scenes with Arwen and her dad, Elrond? Where is that? So it's like, well, Peter Jackson says, remind me in 25 years. And they giggle about it like, hopefully we can do this in 25 years. So we knew this was all in the back of their minds. And here's the kicker. This is the real kicker, okay? All right. I thought that it would be personally exciting, and in my piece I wrote about this, and I said, wouldn't it be fantastic to see this out-of-reach version of the 6 films redone in a way where all of them would be really more complete, more tied together narratively? And so I mentioned the following things. You mentioned this many, many times. A lot of fans are not happy with this idea, but what about that opening prologue in Fellowship of the Ring, where that single shot of Sir Ian Holm finding the ring would be replaced with a brief shot of Martin Freeman from An Unexpected Journey? How about a version of the film where Saruman actually finds and holds a palantir in his hand after the Battle of Dol Guldur in Battle of the Five Armies? A movie version where Tom Bombadil would be referenced, or at least would appear in a cameo, like a beautiful hat with a yellow feather sticking out of it, walking through the bushes and going off into the distance. And what if the hobbits just heard him singing in the distance, and then just a reference to Tom Bombadil, where we could see the outtakes from the Two Towers, where Arwen was there, fighting alongside her boy Aragorn at Helm's Deep, where Éowyn picks up a sword and fights with the orcs, the Uruk-hai, who actually infiltrate the Glittering Caves. Wouldn't it be amazing to see like a look back on these films with all these extra bits, things that we know are there?
Aragorn fighting Sauron, not just a troll.
Not just a troll, but the original idea.
Sauron.
Yeah, Sauron. Sauron.
What we want.
Yeah, but you'll always recall that the number one rule of show business is always leave them wanting more. And we're not sure if Warner Brothers is, just deliberately trying to do this to make us want more, but the fan outrage stems from this, okay? And it's just ridiculous to me, and I talked about this at length. I encourage you guys to just read the piece. Why would they put together all the existing discs that we already have bought? In your case, in many of our cases,
7 times.
We've bought these discs 7 times, and yet why would they repackage it with just, a confection on the outside, some candy floss, on the outside, and nothing new inside? So, someone on our staff adroitly pointed out that you could get a ticket to New Zealand for $800.
That was me.
And yes, you, sir.
I went to kayak, and I'm like, one-way ticket to Hobbiton,
to Hobbiton, $800. And somebody else quipped,
I can go to Hobbiton for that price.
Does Hobbit DNA come in this special Ultra Edition so I can clone a Bilbo at home? No, it doesn't. Well, gee, too bad. Now, Warner Brothers, are you listening? This is really where I want to get at. Warner Brothers, are you listening? And perhaps they are, because we've heard a lot of noise about this. That's not applause. I'm sure they were expecting applause at the release of this Ultimate Edition, but that was not applause. All we've been hearing are gasps. My favorite line, mass shaking of heads in dismay doesn't produce a sound, but I can hear it quite clearly. There you go. That's, that kind of sums it all up. Now, here it is. We know the physical disc market is in decline. We know it is expensive to make all these products for the home video market. We're going to talk about that with our special guest in just a minute. But look, even the Hobbit special features, even the appendices that went on the Hobbit extended editions almost didn't happen because Warner Brothers was not willing to spend the money for Michael Pellerin and Peter Jackson to keep an aligned and uniform approach to getting all these behind the scenes materials and the extra content, because they've realized by crunching the numbers that putting extra content on discs allegedly does not really do much to increase their sales. Now, the studio will assert their point and justify, we're not going to spend more on any more editors or producers to, do this content and redo it all because it's not affecting our bottom line. And I'm sorry, they do have a business to run, and it is about their bottom line. And I go on and tell a story about how much money they lost when they released that 3-film gold box edition of Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, really. But here it is, okay? Listen to this. Now it comes to it. All my thought is bent upon this. I have reached out to Warner Brothers, and they had no comment. I reached out to Peter's team, and he has a comment, and we'll share that in just a little while. But here it is. When I did some investigative sleuthing, I found out something that really pissed me off. Sorry, but it really pissed me off. Peter Jackson and Michael Pellerin faithfully and earnestly approached Warner Brothers about 1.5 years or 2 years ago to make this ultimate collector's edition, the one that's been announced right now. So this has been on the table for such a long time. And they went to Warner Brothers Home Entertainment and they said, look, let's put this 6-film combination together, and it's going to be the perfect opportunity to send off the Middle-earth franchise with a really elegant and needful look back. This isn't just wasting our time. This is film history, and it is a needful thing to do. And that would allow them to do 2-hour spanking new documentaries for all of the films. And then Warner Brothers said, nah, we're not going to do all that. We only want to do one 2-hour documentary and then skip all the rest of those extras. And we're not going to bother doing it. And so Peter Jackson replied, look, we can even have a frank discussion of hot button issues that happened 16 years ago that are, it's just nuts. And they said, no, we're not willing to pay for it. And that's what pisses me off. That was really the thing, is that we had an opportunity, but because of what the studio believes of their viewpoint on the exigencies of the home video marketplace, they did not want to do it. So there was a chance to make this the Ultimate Edition, a real Ultimate Edition. Like you just said at the top of the show, if you'd added more of that content, you would be interested in buying it again. But they said, no, we're not going to do any of that. So I have to say this. I'm sorry. The end result of this that's on our green screen behind us was not taken care of or handled by this plucky Kiwi director, this very resourceful filmmaker who knows what he's doing. Instead, this release was governed by a team of marketing people at the studio who are not Tolkien fans, people who have been tone deaf to the whole worldwide audience by the very release of this set, and neglecting what we have been anticipating, what we have been vocalizing for damn near 17 years that we want. It has been promised to us for so long, and now we're just getting this mess. So, anyways, we're just standing up right now in print and on live stream, and we're telling the studio, please pay attention to this audience. We know what we want, and we know what we will buy. This is not it. End of rant.
Cliff Broadway on loan from The Daily Show.
On loan from The Daily Show? Nah. Anyways,
no.
But look, let's talk about the next gen. Shall we introduce our guest?
Well, let's talk about the fan reaction. Everyone in the chat room is like, your article was on point. It's been cited all across the net. I just looked at Amazon. 90% 1-star reviews, 184 negative customer, 1.3 stars. The Lord of the Rings does not deserve 1 out of 5 stars. You're ruining the long-term value of Lord of the Rings and impacting it forever, because the internet's written in ink that the Lord of the Rings will be reviewed in generations going forward of 1 star out of 5. It deserves better. The fans deserve better.
I agree.
So let's talk about why they're pissed. Why is it getting so many 1-star reviews? Well, I just looked on the special features. There's a lot of chat there's a lot of comments in the chat. This does not include the Costa Botas documentary. So we're not getting the complete making of features. This is incomplete.
We're not getting any of those missing scenes either.
But anything from that has been released previously. No new content. We're just talking about stuff released.
Yes.
This set at $800 is incomplete. It does not include the Coast to Coast Test documentary. Secondly, it says right there in cap text. Would you read that? Would you read that?
Oh, jeez. Was that what it says?
Yeah.
To redeem... Oh, okay, you have only until 2019 to redeem your
Just that
Ultraviolet.
last sentence.
Oh, does not include iTunes file.
$800. You do not even get an iTunes file.
You don't even get an iTunes
of
digital copy.
Anything. Now,
How about that?
How many people?
How about that?
How many people bought The Hobbit on iTunes? It was wonderful because iTunes got it a week or two before the DVDs came out. So, does not include iTunes file. So. That's another thing. So already we're already incomplete. We don't have the Coast to Boat Test, and we don't get the iTunes file. All right.
This is why fans have responded with words like, I feel kicked in the teeth. Or phrases, you know what, I texted my friend. He does digital visual effects for some of the big studios.
Yeah.
And he hadn't heard about this. And I texted him, and his response was, that's ridiculous. All caps. I'm talking to industry professionals. I'm talking to regular fans who are not in the industry. And the universal response is wide-eyed shock. Okay?
Shock about the price point and the fact that it doesn't include anything. Now let's talk about comps. Why did Warner Brothers think this was a good idea? Well, if you look behind us, this is called the Harry Potter Wizards Collection.
Indeed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 32 discs. You get more discs in this Harry Potter Wizards collection than you do in the Lord of the Rings collection. This includes a wonderful custom fold-out, an art book, some Marauders map, some jewelry, a little thing wrap. A scroll.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you get a lot of great stuff.
And there were even hidden compartments that you had to discover.
Yeah, it was you folded out, and that's where it had prints and stuff. So. Basically, the core concept is just like this. Let's create a special packaging, a premium packaging, with a couple little maps, a couple little printed images and trinkets.
Yep.
Stuff that the fans will relate to. This got wonderful reviews. They only made 30,000 of these pieces. It sold out. The Harry Potter Wizards Collection sold out. It started MSRP when it was launched. $499.
Yep, that's right. $499.
$500 for the Harry Potter Wizard Collection. That's 8 films, 32 discs, all the trinkets. This is why Warner Brothers thought this package would be a good idea.
With the exception that the Harry Potter Wizards Collection, and it also comes without the fancy box. It comes in a Hogwarts edition?
That came different.
Okay, with just discs.
That came after this sold out.
But there's hours of extra content. There's more behind the scenes and more content.
That's what fans said about this.
That was not available anywhere else.
We went to Facebook and we went to Instagram and we said we want to talk to fans that have this collection, and overwhelmingly they said they don't regret the purchase. It was perfect. It was wonderful. And we asked why was this worth $500 or $400 or $300? A lot of people found it at Costco for $250, so that's half off the original retail price.
I love Costco.
A lot of people did end up purchasing it at $300. So $300 isn't quite $800, but $300 is still a lot of money. But you get all 8 films. They said, you know what? Not only was the packaging great, the reason that most people bought the exclusive Harry Potter limited edition 30,000 Wizards collection for hundreds of dollars. Each film came with a new 2-hour documentary.
Yes, it did.
2 times 8, 16 extra hours of documentary, talking with all the filmmakers and the actors, saying, what did Harry Potter mean to you when you first got cast? They just went through all the films. It was 16 hours of new documentaries. That was worth it on its own.
Yes.
And that's what would convince me to buy that next Lord of the Rings. If there was a new documentary returning to Galadriel, returning to Vigo, returning to everybody, let's just talk about the whole series.
Absolutely. All of us feel that way. All the fans would love
that. Is the big thing.
That's
price independent.
That's it. Yes.
You put a new 2-hour documentary per film. We're in.
All of them.
All of them.
And you know what? It's a better deal because the Middle-earth Saga is not 8 films, it's 6 films. So be a little bit easier
So
to do that.
tell us in the chat. Text us. Would you say yes? Ignoring the price, would you say yes to a premium collection if it included a 1 or 2 hour new documentary for each film? So we're talking 6 to 12 hours more content.
Knowing that was the filmmaker's original plan.
Yes.
That was the original plan, to look back and say, look at the hell we went through to even make these films, and to have the advantage of hindsight. Do you know how much better it would be? Because 16 years ago, when things were really sticky and they weren't sure how, the relationship with New Line was going to work out, they didn't even know if the success of the films commercially would work out. And so there were a lot of hot button issues that they could not talk about then, but they could right now. And that's why it would be so much more objective and so much better, at least from a film history perspective. I hate to sound like Martin Scorsese, but I'm all about film preservation and film history, and nobody can talk about film history without talking about Sir Peter Jackson. 11 out of 11 Academy Awards for ROTK, the biggest clean sweep in all of Oscar history for all the Academy Awards, and a person and a team of people who redefined what long format storytelling can do in the cinema marketplace.
Jesse wants to know, can he trade in his firstborn son, or can she trade in the firstborn son for the new set?
I know, right? How about
not yet.
It's
Not
craziness.
Yet. So I actually have not the $300 version. I have a smaller version. This was a box that came out for the 5 films, Harry Potter 5 films. Now, it's a wonderful clasp.
This edition is a different format. You have what is considered HD DVD.
Yes.
This was back when there was a war in the marketplace between Blu-ray and high-definition DVD, and out of that format war, it was resolved rather quickly, and Blu-ray won. But here it is, this beautiful, outdated technology.
Warner Brothers knows how to put it together, because Sorcerer's Stone,
yeah, look.
Chamber of Secrets. Look, I got an invitation. Don't open it yet.
Don't open it yet.
Oh, wait, is it open? It's already open.
Yeah, it's been opened a million times.
I got a year 3. I got a year 4.
Oh, look, there's Wizards cards that you get from in the bottom of your chocolate frog.
Year
totally beautiful.
Year 5.
Foil versions of character cards.
I got a year 5. Look at this. I got. Oh man, back when they were doing DVD games.
Yep.
DVD games.
So cool.
Man,
DVD games.
I got bonus features DVD.
Wow.
And a bookmark collection. What is it? What is this?
Oh, this is quite impressive. Look at this. This is a slip case, and inside it, squishy foam. What's inside here? Oh my gosh, I've never seen this. Dude, you've never shown me this. These are beautiful clasp pins, elegant pins, and look, there's a golden snitch, there's a broom, there's a Nimbus 2000. Yeah. Oh wow, this is cool. These are pins. Actually, these are bookmarks. These are bookmarks that are so elegant. Let me pass this over. Look at that, Josh. All right, we've got to get Josh on the show here. This is fantastic. All right, so come on, guys. We know when something works in the home video marketplace, and we know when something doesn't. And this is one of those times when it really, really,
basically
really
what we're
doesn't.
saying is, look, we're the ideal consumer of this package, because I bought the entire trilogy 7 times.
You did.
I bought the special packaging Harry Potter.
Yep.
Not the Wizards collection yet.
And you even bought it on an unproven format that was about to leave the market. You even bought it on HD.
I'm all in on this stuff.
DVD.
Collector's item now.
Yeah.
This is a real collector's item, dude. It really is.
Well,
it goes right up to the Order of the Phoenix, doesn't it? And then they stopped making HD DVDs.
And then they put together the $500 thing. So basically, this Harry Potter Wizards collection that we're looking at now started at $500. It almost instantly got dropped to $300. A lot of people picked it up then, and then it sold through Costco and a couple other value things for $200 to $250.
No, I won't.
So they only made 30,000 of them. They sold out. It sold out so good that they created a separate box set that had a special slip packaging, but it didn't include all the custom, like the box.
That was called the Hogwarts edition.
The Hogwarts edition.
That didn't have all the bells and whistles.
It was like $279. Something
yes,
like that. I think you
like
can
that.
pick it up for like $200.
Indeed, indeed.
So basically, we feel that $300 is the magic price point, based on the feedback from Facebook and the fans that had spent the money on this Harry Potter collection. 32 discs as opposed to 30 with Lord of the Rings. You get a new 2-hour documentaries for each of the films, so 12 hours, new content not available anywhere else, and you have a custom package. I feel that the magic price point for a Lord of the Rings Hobbit collection with new content is $300.
I agree.
And I think a lot of people in the chat room would pay
I wouldn't balk at that.
$300 for that.
I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes, Cliff and Justin, here's Pete in the chat room. He says, did you notice that the price on Amazon is currently $600?
Yeah, in 2 days it went from $800 to $600.
It sure did.
That's kind of standard for Amazon, though.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, huh?
But I think it needs to keep coming down. $500, this becomes palatable to a certain class of people. At $300, this is approachable for everybody.
Pull up a chair, Josh. Pull up a chair and join us, Mr. Man. Real quick.
Introduce. Get your rants out.
Yeah, got the ranting done. Introducing a very fine fellow, Josh Rubenstein, who is also a longtime volunteer, staff writer here at TheOneRing.net, and he's also helped us produce a lot of our public events. But you, sir, you come from a background in the home video marketplace.
I do. Like a lot of you out there probably know me from a Torn Book Club.
And of course, he's the host of our Torn Book Club.
So you're probably like, what the
Lest
heck?
I forget.
What the heck is a book guy here talking about DVDs? And it's because for the last 15 years, I have actually worked in DVD and Blu-ray production. Still do, as a matter of fact. That's kind of why I'm late, because I was coming from that job.
By the way, we've had Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits watching our show, and he is one of the biggest industry observers and has one of the best established websites.
Yeah.
The Digital Bits.
Bill's fantastic.
He's fantastic, and it's been the standard place to go to find out information about DVDs and Blu-rays for so long.
And I thought his article about his op-ed about the Middle Earth collection was very spot on. So if you're still in the chat there, Bill, good job. I enjoyed reading that.
Yes, it was really great. Yes.
How much extra work is it to create just an extra bonus feature? Like, are we talking about a whole lot of work and programming?
Well, from what I understand, there's still a lot of negative scanning that would need to happen with this new documentary that Peter Jackson and Michael Pellerin wanted to do. There's a lot of post-production that would still need to happen with that, and generally speaking, as far as bonus material goes, the budgets for that have just fallen through the floor. And so from that angle, I can kind of understand why Warner would initially say no to these new 2-hour documentaries. I'm kind of hoping the groundswell of anger that we've had over this release causes somebody at Warner to say, you know what, maybe we could chuck a few bucks towards Michael Pellerin and Peter Jackson to get this done.
And when we're talking about a few bucks, look, at the end of the day, you're just paying a guy to edit and a graphics guy to do it, and someone to kind of manage it.
There's also negative scanning involved. There is compression and authoring and menu design that has to go into that. All in all, you're talking several $1,000s, but
we're talking several $1,000s. Now, my back of napkin calculations. If Harry Potter, if they did this, they did that Harry Potter Wizards collection. 30,000 units.
Yeah.
So if they sold 30,000 units, which they would, of Lord of the Rings with bonus features at $300 or $350, we're talking about over $9 million in revenue.
Oh yeah. No, they would make their money back.
So we're talking for an incremental cost of $100,000, $200,000, you make $9 million.
Yeah. It's just
come on.
Most people in marketing don't see past the initial investment.
Hi, Lewis.
And that's what we had to deal with on some of the more higher name projects that I've worked on. You might be familiar with them.
Tell the folks at home.
Star Trek: The Next Generation, Enterprise, Twin Peaks, I Love Lucy, My Fair Lady, 60th Anniversary Edition.
Oh, God, that's a fantastic edition.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, it's amazing.
That's awesome. So all the super cool stuff that you and I'm a Trek fan, gotta admit, and your team of people put together the most glorious work on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It was 4 fantastic years of my life working on that thing.
It took 4 years
Yeah.
because you had to go through 7 seasons of material, and you went
Well,
back to original film elements
Right.
and scanned them all high res.
Well, yeah, like I won't bore you with all the technical details
I
of
think
it.
it's
but-
cool. I think
but
it's kind of geeky and cool.
It is. It really is. Like
Love it.
I love doing it. But I mean, my personal job in all of this is I was the lead author, which means when everything is all done, when all the restoration is done, all the menus are created, all of the bonus material is done, subtitles, foreign language audio, all that stuff, all of that melange of craziness comes to me, and I program the working disc out of all of it.
Wow. Coolness.
And so I did that for all 7 seasons of Star Trek TNG. One of the few people who, one of the few people involved with this TNG project who actually worked on it from start to finish.
Fantastic. And you had the support of Paramount.
No.
No, really?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the crux of our, complaint, is that Peter Jackson wants to do all this stuff, and he's not getting the support from the studio to do it.
Well, here's the thing.
And then the studio is wondering why we as fans are responding so angrily to this shit.
Okay, so let me talk a little bit about TNG and what happened there.
Okay.
So
Are we getting season 7 on a Blu-ray box set?
of Star Trek TNG?
Yep.
It's been out for 2 yees.
It's been out for 2 years, Ian. Go to the store. Buy it. It's right there.
And that's part of what that's part of what I want to talk about.
Yes.
Because when it first started, we had tons of publicity going into this. Like, actually, the first year of it, we couldn't talk about it at all. We had to be like super secret about it. And then this is like my favorite sort of like behind the scenes story of what happened. We had to be very quiet about it. Marketing had this whole big plan of announcing it at San Diego Comic-Con. Probably a few months before Comic-Con, a couple of the producers invited LeVar Burton and Marina Sirtis over to the studio to check out the restoration of the pilot episode, Encounter at Farpoint. And they were blown away. And LeVar Burton, who has 4 million Twitter followers, goes on Twitter and says, "Just watch the restored Encounter at Farpoint, #mindblown." And the cat was totally out of the bag at that point. and it's like there was nothing anybody could do. It's like, what are you going to do? Fire him? The show's been over for 20 years.
Right, exactly.
So we got a comment on the hotline again, 53064 Frodo. I think by doing this, it's clear that they were just figuring out another way to squeeze blood from a stone. Standing in the stone's position,
well,
I don't find it pleasant. I can't afford $800 anyway.
No, and I think like this is one of those experiments of seeing what the market will bear. And
they know what the market will bear because they sold the Harry Potter collection,
exactly,
Wizards collection at a price point, and they sold 30,000 of them. They know the market.
Somehow I get the feeling the Harry Potter people and the Lord of the Rings people don't talk to each other much.
They're the same people. Don't you feel you did the Ringers documentary?
Yes.
Is there crossover in fantasy culture between?
No, I'm talking about in marketing at Warner Brothers.
No, well, they've been cutting all over. It's all the same. It's all the same.
It's all the same stuff. So,
the decision to do this documentary feels like the same department that does DC movies and Suicide Squad and Zack Snyder. Like, just do whatever.
Yeah,
they'll buy anything.
Well, okay.
We won't buy anything.
Well, like, okay, so here's where everything fell apart with Star Trek TNG, and why we will probably never see Deep Space Nine restored. When it first started, they had a big marketing push for it. They had theatrical screenings. They had panels at all the major conventions.
Yeah.
And like there was a big announcement. People were very excited about it. They were doing side-by-side comparisons of what it looked like when it was originally broadcast and what it looks like now on the restoration. And it was really great. Everybody was on board with it. And after season 3 came out, all of the marketing just died. They stopped marketing it completely.
Oscar makes a good point. This set cannot be called the definitive edition because it does not include the definitive features.
No, I agree.
That we got.
This is not the
Peter
definitive
Jackson
edition at all.
Peter Jackson would not put his name as the definitive version.
And also,
No,
you know,
I totally agree.
yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, these are Peter Jackson's films. You know, this is the Roddenberry's and State films. You know, or stories. Like the filmmakers and the creators have a responsibility to make sure that if it says director's cut, definitive, extended edition, like by fans for fans, like this, they have to. This can't be just a studio ploy. So. That's why I think there's just such a huge response against this.
Yeah,
Speaking of
there is.
responses,
Because it feels...
Speaking of responses,
We-
go ahead. You want
we-
to finish that thought?
yeah,
No, go ahead.
Because you guys in the chat room, and thank you for being patient, we have viewers who are like, so what did Peter Jackson have to say about this? Well,
Well, let me tell you what the author and musical historian for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
oh gosh, yes.
That was
yes.
That was an interesting
That's Doug.
little thing he tweeted out.
Doug
Adams.
Doug Adams.
Doug Adams.
He wrote some wonderful books.
Yes, he
about
did.
the music, right?
Yes, and he's worked with Howard Shore for a long time, developing the material for the book. And he has another project that he's it's fantastic. His comprehensive review of how Howard Shore composed the motifs for all the scores for all 6 films, and how the story progressed along with his musical work and progression in the project over a long period of time. And what did he say? It was incredibly funny.
He was just like, all my books now available for under $800.
All of my books.
Yeah, sick burn on Warner Brothers.
Funny. So, Mr. Peter Jackson.
It came out of nowhere, but everyone's got an opinion on this. I mean,
They do.
Even the artists at Weta, have been commenting like, not sure where this is coming from. They didn't ask us. Yet Daniel Falconer, who has written many books.
Yeah.
In fact, our own Happy Hobbit Kelly Rice is writing with Daniel Falconer the definitive edition of the art of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. A new book that hopefully will be out next year.
Yes.
Daniel Falconer is the creative center of bonus features in print. And
Yes.
even he says, this is way out of my reach. I was surprised to stumble on across this news. It would be interesting to see if that is indeed the final pricing. It does seem high considering most of us already own the majority of the contents.
That's what Daniel Falconer said?
Daniel Falconer.
Oh my gosh.
I
Wow.
find it very telling that he says he stumbled on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what everybody did. Everyone just woke up and suddenly there was a new
But it's
Lord
like
of the Rings.
people who were involved in the production got no lead up to this.
So there's been a lot of feedback from filmmakers and people that work at Weta and everything like that. There's even a video, I don't know if you've been watching it in the background, there's a video of Dominic Monaghan basically doing an unboxing for it. And I don't know if his tone of
There
voice...
it is. There's the unboxing video with Dom behind us. He
the-
was our narrator for our
Ringers,
documentary
Lord of the
Ringers.
Rants. So he goes through all the pieces.
his voice in it was like I could almost hear a really $800 for this.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this wonderful book. So like it's out there in the world, and everyone, even Gizmodo was like, new Lord of the Rings set is out, but who is it for? Everyone's been asking, who is this for? If the
it's for
content
nobody.
is the same.
It's
and
for
so we've been
absolutely
trying
nobody.
to get an official comment. Digital Bits was trying to get an official comment. We confirmed that this is the real price. But Cliff, you got an email late this afternoon from the folks at Wingnut
from
Films.
Wingnut, yeah.
Actually, it
which
was
is Peter Jackson's
production company.
What
Yes.
happened?
Well, it's funny. The email came to me very, very late last night, but because I was at the karaoke joint getting sauced with my friends, I didn't even know the email came.
Oh, how dare you have
How
so
dare
much-
I? I know.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? That's how they discovered Billy Boyd could sing. Because Philippa went out drinking with Billy and some of the other cast members, and they didn't even know what they were going to do. That singing
anyway,
bit.
let's
I'm
get
sorry,
to the email.
but going to karaoke is an integral part of Lord of the Rings history. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
So I wrote to the general manager at Wingnut Films Productions, and Dominic was so kind. He replied, a different Dominic than this fine actor behind us, and he wrote back and said, "Hi, Cliff. Peter has read your piece with interest and has provided a comment. he confirms that your account in that piece is, quote, basically factual, and comments as follows. Here's what Sir Peter Jackson had to say, quote, in addition, there was the added difficulty of Warner's needing to access the original negative and scan the outtakes, bloopers, and additional sequences. They declined to do this, which made Michael Pellerin and my original plans for the comprehensive documentary we hoped to produce for this box set impossible to produce. Neither Michael Pellerin nor myself are therefore involved in this release. Maybe Warner's will support our planned documentary for the 25th anniversary because I would love to make it one day, unquote.
From your mouth to God's ear, PJ.
There it is.
Thank you, Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson wanted to do it.
Thank you, Peter Jackson.
He's already got his eyes set on the 25th anniversary, but he
always had.
And all he asked for was for them to scan the original film nitrates that would have the outtakes that he wants to include. Like, you only scan in the stuff that you edit, and if it's a junk thing, don't even waste the time scanning it in.
Sure.
So there's only a few places in the world that will receive film, scan it digitally so you can edit it on the computer. That's what he asked. Peter Jackson himself said Warner Brothers declined on scanning the film, so they could not tell any more stories beyond that. So we've got the official word from Peter Jackson.
When we did Star Trek, we actually had to purchase that equipment specifically so that we could do that.
So, and that clarifies to everyone in the world that neither Wingnut Film Productions nor Michael Pellerin Productions, Pellerin Multimedia, neither of them were involved
with this
UCE, which is why I titled it Outraged or Bemused.
Yeah,
but
Jen in the chat room says, "Wake up, Warner Brothers."
This is not the Ultimate Edition. This is not the definitive edition. Like this is missing. This is missing too many pieces to be called an Ultimate or Definitive Edition.
That's 10 more years at least. We just got to 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, we got 10 years before we can really start bugging PJ about this.
unless Warner Brothers, before this is even shipped out to stores or Amazon, pull it. Don't offer it. Don't sell it. Spend the money and we will buy it.
Or drop the price down to like $200.
Well, right now you can get the trilogy.
But the packaging is very nice, and I would pay for that. I would not pay $800 for this packaging.
This is funny. I'm getting a text message now from Chris Reyes at Story to Screen podcast, and he actually says the same thing. Is it possible that Warner Brothers would do a recall on this box set and then insert 1 or 2 discs of bonus features? Would the fans be okay with that?
No.
Let's call it the Unicorn Edition.
First off,
no recalls.
First off, no, they wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that. They won't recall it.
Look, well,
I
feel like...
Second off, 1 or 2 discs ain't going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it, no.
Yeah,
the amount of production stuff that would go into retrospecting 16 years of stuff from all that time ago. Yeah, okay.
Look, if you want both trilogies, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy on Blu-ray Extended Edition, you're going to spend $150. You know, because each one's $69 or $70.
Yeah.
So for $150 right now, you can go out, get both extended editions, get all the bonus features, everything. I think with this special packaging that Warner Brothers provided with all the nuts and bolts, you know, I would spend $300 because you can currently get these for $150.
It's a very nice looking edition. It's very nice packaging.
For an extra $150,
but it's just packaging. It's just repackaging.
It's just repackaging.
Well, plus the artwork. Alan Lee, John Howe. I mean, if they got sick and dropped dead, this becomes ultimate collector's value because there's not a lot of opportunities to get a full package.
How dare you, sir? They're both immortals.
Yeah, they are immortals.
Yes. And there was a lot of commentary when the last Hobbit movie came out, and the credits in the last Hobbit movie were all of those sketches, right? Of all of the actors. Everyone begged for posters or a book of those sketches. You are getting that here. In fact, this is a response to fans at TheOneRing.net on the chat room and the message board saying, where can I get prints of the credits roll of Battle of the Five Armies?
They were good.
And here is your answer.
Yes.
They're finally offering it, but it's not enough. We're saying it's not enough. We need new content in addition to new paper.
Several chatters on the Facebook timeline, and we're really glad to have you guys live joining with us.
Kickstarter
Have said Kickstarter to scam the negatives.
Let's do it. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
I've
heralded?
actually like legit discussed doing Kickstarter campaigns for some of the projects that I've wanted to do.
But that's what it's for. I mean,
the studio doesn't want to do.
Well, we've wonderfully kickstarted parties, and we've helped other people kickstart fan films and so many wonderful projects. And I wonder if
these Kickstarter projects have worked. Like
they have.
Like
they have.
And
Veronica Mars. We got a Veronica Mars movie because they raised a whole bunch of money on Kickstarter, and Warner Brothers chipped in the rest.
Indeed.
And we know down the street, there are scanning companies. We could reach out to them, find out how much it would cost, or get a ballpark, and let's put it to Kickstarter. Maybe we should respond to Peter Jackson's official statement and say, you know what, let the fans take over.
Let the fans take over from here.
We got you, buddy. We'll take care of this from here.
But that would be really cool.
You know, if Warner Brothers pre-sold a $300 or even a $500 box set that says, with this pre-sale, we will scan the movie, and Peter will get to work.
We can roll this toward
I would pay the money now for something a year down the line.
Absolutely.
I would too. I would too. We all agree on that. Yeah. See, great ideas being tossed around out there in our chat room. Now, let's see. Travis Black has just said Warner Brothers should offer just the packaging of this Ultimate Collector's Edition separately for the people who already own other editions, which is very similar to this.
Because,
this is the thing they did already.
Because my Blu-rays for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, they don't match.
Now,
on my shelf, they don't match at all.
Here's what I will tell you: the Warner Brothers has so far not reached out and offered us a review copy of any of this, but we have got.
There's nothing to review. We've seen it all.
Well, we have received confirmation that Warner Brothers marketing has reached out to many big YouTubers, including PewDiePie and many million subscribers.
Why PewDiePie? He's a gamer.
But they've reached out and they're sending him copies. They're sending all these YouTubers copies of the thing to review. They get to keep it, and they get a little stipend for making the review video. So if you see any YouTube videos, Warner Brothers has most likely given them the copy, and they're getting paid to do it. And this is what got Warner Brothers in trouble just 3 short months ago.
With Shadow of Mordor.
The federal government of the United States of America sued Warner Brothers and won because Warner Brothers was illegally paying for reviews of Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor. Why do you keep messing
Which
with...
they didn't need to do because Shadow of Mordor was a pretty damn good game.
But they got caught for pay.
It's like you didn't need to
Warner
grease the
Brothers
wheels,
got caught
Warner. You had
for payola, pay to play like 1950s radio style.
1950s payola scandal.
The Warner Brothers got sued for millions of dollars, and we're saying they're about to do it again with this Lord of the Rings box set. Don't believe the hype. It's not worth it. There's no new content. Send us a copy. We might say something nice about it. But this is totally disrespecting the fans when you're paying YouTubers to review stuff that you won't even let us review because you know that what we think about it. And it's in print. Peter Jackson has responded to us.
Yes.
And he's not involved.
No. I've reached out to Warner Brothers, and I give them plenty of opportunities to reply.
It's like they would send a copy to PewDiePie. He's a gamer, and he doesn't do reviews. It's like...
Oh, that guy. Okay. Funny. It's funny. He doesn't do reviews.
No.
He just does playthroughs.
Yeah.
He just does playthroughs.
He does Let's Play videos, and it's very profitable Let's Play videos, but
It's
they're
true.
not reviews.
I want to say thank you, Matt, in the Facebook chat. Thank you for the acknowledgement on the article that I wrote. At the very end, we have to have a conversation about 4K, ultra high def, and what this might mean for the future.
Well, 4K means that this is not the definitive edition because, first of all, it doesn't have the 3D edition in there.
That's
right. It doesn't have the theatrical editions in there. But it doesn't have the Coast to Boast documentary.
I've got a 3D version here that's not included in this box set.
And it's not going to have the upcoming 4K edition.
Someone in the Facebook chat said that the Costa Botas documentaries were indeed on
who's calling?
The UCE, but I don't.
They are?
I don't know. I haven't verified that.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well.
So what's on your?
I'm happy about the price though.
Why? What's on your mind? What do you think about it?
Okay, like content. It's just basically like, oh, okay, well, I can go to Best Buy, go to the clearance rack, and like just buy everything there already. And
Yeah,
like,
would this be worth it? Would this be worth it if you got even some outtakes or a documentary? If you got more content, would this be worth it?
It wouldn't be worth $800.
I guess it depends how much. It's like 1 or 2 discs. No, it's just, you know, I'm not going to pay $800 just so I could get 1 or 2 discs.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Somebody's eventually going to upload it onto YouTube.
Yeah, totally. Like
there.
all the bonus features from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings are basically on YouTube already.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So
But
Hannah,
when I found this out, I got so mad. I almost screamed during my break in class.
I don't blame you at all.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh no! Like I
Like,
saw the announcement, and I didn't say it out loud, but I certainly let off a few expletives in my head because I was at work at the time.
yeah. Look, I think it's just it does feel like they're just being greedy with old content, and if they could only just give us a little more, and we'll pay a little more.
They are being greedy. They're
Yeah.
being beyond greedy.
No, there's nothing
Yeah,
about this that doesn't say just like it's just cynical
Oh my
greed.
gosh.
Yeah, you basically sum up a lot of fans. Hey, we're getting more calls, but thanks for calling, Hannah.
so we have
See ya.
Take care.
we have confirmation on the hotline, which is 530-64 FRODO, and our chatter just sent us a message saying the extra discs are called Behind the Scenes for each film, so the Costa Botas documentaries are actually there on the show. Hello, and thank you, Hannah, for being on the program. Hey, you're on TheOneRing.net. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey there, John. How are you doing? Hold on, just 1 second. I'm gonna turn the volume up so that we can hear you right. Okay, hold on 1 quick second. As long as that other phone call is coming in, there it is. All right, now you're on. Now say again. Who's this calling, sir?
Jonathan Bellina from Mobile, Alabama.
Yes, hey, Jonathan from Mobile, Alabama.
Hello.
Welcome. What's your opinion on this Ultimate Collector's Edition?
Well, it's overpriced for sure, but since most of the content's already available, I'm just going to pass it by.
Of course.
I mean, it's basically like the little wooden bookends look nice, but basically, I mean, I already have all the DVDs anyway.
Of course. And
What
Yeah,
would convince
I really just don't see any point to it.
what would convince you to spend extra money for another version of this film? What would convince you?
When I saw that they were with what appeared to be the books, and I thought, it looks like now they're actually just cases for the DVDs. I thought, okay, if there's actually hard-bound, like hard leather-bound copies of all the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit as well, that might, but still not $800.
right.
Yeah.
Are you upset that the filmmakers, the original creators, faithfully tried to do an ultimate boxed set and were turned down?
I am glad that they did an ultimate box set, but I'm amazed that they expect anyone to actually pay this much money.
Fair enough.
I'll have to say, like, even if this version had been the ultimate edition that Peter Jackson and Michael Pellerin had intended, with all of that extra material, I still would not pay $800 for it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't conceive of any reality in which I would pay $800 for basically six movies.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no reality at all.
That you already own.
Yeah.
We have
Exactly.
we have a chatter, Michelle. Michelle very, very adroitly says, "I made my own bookshelf from my books and DVDs," and I'm glad.
You're not alone, Michelle. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
have done that.
absolutely.
And I'm sure there are a lot of people who have actually made much better looking shelves than what is in this.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't make separate bookshelves, but I mean, they sit on my regular bookshelf. I'm just in it amongst the other copies of the books I have.
Yeah.
Geez, now that I think about it, I already have 4 copies of the books anyway, so what would be even the point of the leather-bound copies, hypothetically?
I still just use my Argonath bookends from the collector's edition of the Fellowship Extended Edition.
Yeah.
Those are
Back when it
heavy
first
duty.
Yeah, they were the best ones, I think.
Yep, that's great stuff. Okay, my friend, any last thoughts before we go to our next caller?
Nope, that's it. Simply just overpriced.
All right.
Overpriced?
Absolutely.
Excellent. That's great to have you on the air, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Right.
Very good. Okay. Hey, you're on the air with TheOneRing.net live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is John. I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Welcome, New
Hello.
York City.
Hello.
The Big Apple. I love it.
Thank you. So I just wanted to say I was like everybody. I was totally shocked to see that the entire set was for $800. I honestly would have felt for a lower price than if they would have included things like an exclusive content to like I don't know Shadow of Mordor. Something, just something like that too. I kind of feel someone said earlier, like a kick to the teeth and kind of thing. I don't know. It's not fair to the fans, especially when you guys showed the beautiful Harry Potter sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
something exclusive. Like I don't know. Like we talked about making a TV remote using like Gollum's arm or the arm of Sauron, or even like the Sting sword.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like some really nice collectible would have been cool with this.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Helder Smith. I see you in the chat room, and I'm glad you're watching the show with us tonight. Okay, my friend from Brooklyn, do you think that it's like an act... I don't know if the word that I'm going to pick is right, but you think it is a faithless decision on the part of Warner Brothers Home Entertainment to not take into account what the audience most desires, and to not take into account that the original filmmaker wanted to provide it for us in concocting this whole scheme to put this out?
Agreed, but I didn't hear the exact word, but
Faithless. I said it's a faithless act?
oh, faithless.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, faithless. Especially when you guys mentioned earlier that it was, as you said, it wasn't the original, Peter Jackson wasn't a part of that decision. Warner Bros. Hired these marketers who weren't fans. And that, I'm actually curious if the people who built the Harry Potter set, if they were actually either part of the original teams who filmed the movies, or if they were just Harry Potter fans who built it.
That's
It
certainly
feels
possible.
organic.
Well,
It totally feels organic.
part of the Harry Potter thing that worked, I think, was that it happened hot off the heels of the last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happened very quickly after the last movie came out, so it was still very fresh in the minds of marketers. This is coming out
Okay.
maybe, 2-3 years after the last Middle-earth movie left theaters?
Yeah.
So there's... And there have been shakeups at Warner Brothers. Like, a lot of people have gotten laid off in those intervening years.
If it,
Sad but true.
we appreciate you calling all the way from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, just to let you guys know, I'm Gladius, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
Gladius.
Gladius. Okay.
For torn to,
Yep.
days.
Yeah, we
Good,
see
man.
the chat.
Great,
Okay.
great to have you. And
Great to have you.
thanks for the input. Thanks.
We're seeing people jump in both chats. We see Joanna on Facebook.
Yeah.
and we
and
got
on
a
the
text
Facebook
message
chat,
saying
yep.
pretty passionate about this box set, but more passionate about eating and rent.
Yeah. You know
So-
what? Yes.
All right, so this is the ultimate test. So there's a lot of
Love it.
there's a lot of
Love it.
confusion right now. Do the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray extended editions, which I think you own, I own, it's not here. Do those include the Costa Botes documentaries?
No. They were in a
No,
separate
no.
reissued edition.
Yeah, right.
A separate
Okay,
reissue.
so-
But they didn't have the appendices, right, from Michael Pellerin. Instead, they had the Costa Botes stuff.
Right,
Right, and
so
that was
that's-
DVD only.
that was-
that limited
right.
edition was
the
DVD
Costa
only.
Botes was DVD only.
Yes, it was.
Actually, there's a funny story about
Standard
that
def.
limited edition that is very production oriented.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate test. So we freeze framed from that video starring Dominic Monaghan. These are the discs. These are the discs. An Unexpected Journey, Desolation of Smaug.
There's the
Yep.
discs. Yeah. Look at
This
them.
is an unopened.
I'm going to duck.
This is
Can you guys see?
Yeah,
see that
yeah,
behind
yeah.
me? Yeah,
this
there it
is an unopened and unexpected journey. This is
Okay.
still in plastic. If these discs in this unopened package that I got for Christmas,
Yes.
if this matches what we see in this box set, we're in some trouble because this will confirm that the Costa Botes documentaries are not in the $800 collection.
But there were no Costa Botes documentaries on the Hobbit trilogy, so you wouldn't find it in there anyways.
That's what I'm saying is, if this is the same, if what's in this package that I'm opening now is the same that's in this video,
I can almost guarantee you it is.
Then it's safe to assume that the Lord of the Rings Blu-ray pack are the same discs.
I can almost guarantee you that it is.
So they didn't repress or remanufacture new discs, and they didn't reauthor new discs.
Oh God, no!
They just made the whole new one.
They're
They
not,
just used the same one.
I'm not going to reauthor a disc that has no new content
I
on
might
it.
pay extra if it's
True.
There were a bunch of people in the chat room, and we got a lot of text messages saying a lot of people would pay extras if there were hidden features. Remember all the hidden bonus features on the DVD?
Yeah. Dallas Bennett, am I reading that right? Barnett. Dallas Barnett, who was one of the original actors in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. He plays Bill Ferny Sr., one of the evil ruffians who's about to go up to Thorin before Gandalf sits down with him in the village of Bree. So there he is. He's on our show live on the chat. It's great to have you on with us, Mr. Barnett.
That doesn't have the same disc art.
We're looking at it. These are the discs from the most recent extended edition Blu-ray.
They're different colors, different labels.
They are different colors. So this is a new pressing.
Well, I figured it was a new pressing and probably a new label.
It's a new label,
but it's probably the exact same disc.
And they wouldn't pay for reauthoring it. You're right. You're right.
And the interesting thing is, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 discs in the $800 version. Right here, we're looking only 3. Right? We're counting them. There's nothing on this side. One,
well, okay.
2,
3.
They are adding in one new disc, which is basically a reauthored bonus disc that has all of the bonus content from the theatrical release.
So they're making an attempt to combine
whoa, back
extras
up.
from the theatrical. Oh, he's got the theatrical. You've got it.
No, but they're all combined onto one disc.
Let's count it though. Come on.
Where's your theatrical Hobbit?
The theatricals. I bet you could combine all the bonus
3D
pieces from all of the theatricals into one disc.
3D again. It's a black disc. This is different than the extended edition.
Here's theatrical.
On the Unexpected Journey.
Yep, and it just says special features.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
so
let's look at the package and see what special features are actually on here.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
So recruiting the 5 armies. See how each epic army was conceived and realized. Completing Middle Earth. Rediscover the 6-film saga from the vantage points of the characters. The Last Goodbye music video.
Billy's music video for The Last Goodbye.
New Zealand, Home of Middle Earth, Part 3. Here's an
interesting thing. There's 4 discs per Hobbit movie in the $800 version, right? The latest extended edition Blu-ray includes 3 discs. Now let's go back to the theatrical release of An Unexpected Journey. How many discs? There are 4 in the new Hobbit. So there's 1.
Well, that's a 3D.
That's 3D.
There's 2 discs for 3D.
3.
No, there's 2 that are 3D.
4, 5. There are actually 5 discs. There are actually more discs in the original theatrical release of the
that's the 3D version.
Why aren't these included?
I agree. I absolutely agree.
The agreement.
$800.
Totally in agreement.
$800. I should have
for $800. Every single thing that has ever been produced on physical media for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit should be included.
So we're not.
And the premium Lego toys that were marketing exclusive just for certain retailers.
I don't care about the Lego toys, but
look, for $800. For $800
for content. Look, 3D content. This has 5 discs. This Unexpected Journey has 3 discs.
Has 3.
Now this has 4 discs. This is missing the $800 version, missing the 3D discs, 2 per movie, missing the Costa Botes documentary. We're done. It's not worth it. We're done. I think we've had a great conversation. It's great hearing from all of you. Please keep texting all week long. We love to hear your opinions and everything like that. We're out of time.
Are we out of time already?
Man.
This has been a blistering 90-minute show. 94 minutes.
I didn't even get to go into like all the stuff that I have gleaned over the years watching these really fantastic franchise releases just crash and burn because of bad marketing.
This will not crash and burn if you just give us a little more content. Just a little. Even a new commentary track. Give us a commentary. Let the Lord of the Rings actors
I'm not
commentary
paying
the Hobbit.
$600 for a commentary track.
No,
Are
you're
you
not.
kidding me?
No, you're not. No.
I would if it included all the 3D, all the discs. Look,
Well,
I already own. You're telling me I already own more discs.
I'm not a super collector. I only have the extended editions of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I never purchased the theatrical editions. Never
You
once.
know, the thing I
Indeed.
want to remind people
Indeed.
again with the Harry Potter Wizards collection, not only did it include the 2-hour new content, which convinced a lot of people to buy it. The $500 Harry Potter Wizards set included all DVD and all Blu-ray.
Yeah.
All of them. Yes.
Okay.
So
all of them.
that's
Yes, it
what-
did.
Esme is saying she really wants to hear my opinion. Maybe I'll talk about it on the book club on Sunday.
We're telling you,
Sure.
include all of the 3D. If you include the DVD versions, the Blu-ray versions, the 3D versions, this becomes more palatable. But we already know there's content on the market that you're not selling for $800.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
I agree.
before we go, just want a couple quick plugs. This Sunday is Torn Book Club at
Yes.
12 p.m. Pacific time here on TheOneRing.net/live. We will be discussing our book of the month for what month is this? August?
Yes.
Okay. Our book of the month for August, which is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
All right. Ooh.
So we have that to look forward to.
Very cool.
And we're here every Tuesday, 5 p.m.
This
Pacific.
discussion might actually get a little
And-
contentious.
Cliff,
Yes, indeed. Hello.
I appreciate that long, wonderful, thought-out, well-researched article on TheOneRing.net. You can go to
It was a great
TheOneRing.net.
There are actually like about 5 or 6 articles now that are
Check
all
out
very well written.
Quick
But
Beef's article.
Cliff's is fantastic.
We're looking for new articles throughout the week
Thank you.
as our collectibles editor compares what you can get into the DVD versus what you can buy yourself and if it's cheaper. So there's a lot of content going. We've got an official... Why don't you read Peter Jackson's statement again as
I will.
we close out the show?
I will. And I'll also we have to make a correction that is absolutely crystal clear. For about 35 or 45 minutes, we were saying that the Costa Botes documentaries, the Fly on the Wall, warts and all documentaries were not, and that was a mistake to say that. They are included, and we have the proof
Okay.
now on this
Do we?
Ultimate
Okay.
Collected Edition. Yes, Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits was just in our chat reminding us yet again. So we have confirmation, not... You know, it's not in the press release, though, because it was such a beautifully worded press release. And because Warner Brothers Marketing is handling...
Talk about the Baggins birthday bash. Real
so
quick.
I know, we will. We will talk
Yeah,
about the
well,
Baggins
well,
birthday
well,
bash.
well,
Let's read...
But let's do this.
We'll mention...
We want to
we'll
make
mention
sure
it
that
quick, yeah.
we have all that stuff corrected. But again, after...
So many things to plug in the last 5 minutes. Oh, my God. Okay.
After I published the piece, Outraged or Bemused, wrote in an effort to get Warner Brothers to respond, and they did not. I wrote for Sir Peter to respond, and he did through his staff. And he says, "Hi, Cliff. Peter has read your piece with interest and has provided a comment. He confirms that your account in that piece is, quote, basically factual." I'll take it. I'll take that.
Yep.
And he comments, quote, "In addition, there was the added difficulty of Warner's needing to access the original negative and scan the outtakes, bloopers, and additional sequences. They declined to do this, which made Michael Pellerin and my original plans for the comprehensive documentary we hoped to produce for this box set impossible to produce. Neither Michael nor myself are therefore involved in this release. Maybe
That speaks volumes right there.
Maybe Warner's will support our planned documentary for the 25th anniversary because we would love to make it one day," unquote. Straight from Sir Peter Jackson at Wingnut Film Productions down in New Zealand. And thank you, from one creative to another creative, thank you very much, Sir Peter, for responding.
So,
And now...
so let's talk about the Baggins birthday bash real quickly.
It's one of the biggest events we have in the history of TheOneRing.net. It's coming up.
It was huge. Last year,
Yes.
it blew everything away. I think we're actually, are we still rolling?
We are.
Okay, all right, cool. We'll just keep going.
It better be, because we have to talk about it.
Yeah. So it's going to be September 24th this year, which is actually literally a month away from today, or a month and 1 day from today. So this is the first year that it's not going to be in. I think we did get cut.
Is it off?